Absolutely perfect. Perfect. That doesn't sound good. Alright, and welcome back to Mustafa's Garage. As you could probably tell from the footage I recorded, we drove the Explorer for the first time on camera. And as you probably heard, there's a noise coming from the passenger side front wheel right here. So today's video is going to be looking at that, and we're going to be putting some brakes, or some brake pads, on the passenger rear wheel. And by the way, let me introduce you my little sister here. Say hi to the camera.
Hi, camera.
Yeah. Okay. So let's dig into this right now, shall we? Yeah, that's an antenna. That's an antenna. What do you want? That's an antenna. You play your radio with that, okay? That's an antenna. You play your radio with it, okay? Okay, let's go. Okay, so far we jacked up the vehicle and put it on jack stands, but I noticed we didn't do something, and that's unbolt the lug nuts of the wheels and take them off when the car was still on the ground. Well, we don't have to do that anymore because I'm going to be using my dad's Milwaukee power impact gun. So let's do that next. $19mm. The reason I like vehicle is center caps, hubcaps, whatever you want to call them. They double as a lug nut tray. Top tip of the day. For an extra measure of safety, toss the wheel under the car like that. In case if these jack stands were to fail, got the tire catching us just in case. Keep you safe. No wonder this thing makes a weird noise when you come to a stop from the right front wheel. I'll show you all right now. As you can see back here, this bolt isn't tightened all the way in. Oh, looky here. No bolt. Great. Well, good thing I went to the salvage yard yesterday and picked them up. And I wouldn't have done that if I wouldn't have looked yesterday off camera. But as we already know, problem right here is a little bit bigger than just that. So we're going to have to take the caliper off, the rotor, so we can take this axle nut off. We shouldn't have taken this off beforehand, but who knows? We'll try zinging it off. What we're trying to get to back here is the wheel bearing. Wow, this was so loose I can loosen it with my finger. Pads are good though. We don't have to replace those. Oh well, just one. Just throw it on the side. Pull it off like so. Yeah, the rotor's okay. No grooves. Well, you can see, but as I can feel it, it's not that bad. A few times driving around, braking, it'll be just fine. Whoa, what do we have here? Hey there, little guy. Hey there. Come on out. Come on out. Come on out. Hey there, little guy. Hey there, little guy. Come on out. Yeah, get away from my freaking truck. Get out of there. Get out of there. I didn't cover this in the last few videos. Got a piece of wire right here. Why is that? Well, in the last few videos, when we were taking off a caliper and we didn't necessarily want to take it off completely, we used to balance it like that. But I don't recommend doing this. It's unsafe, and you might it might fall down, break your hose. You need a whole new hose, I guess you could say. So to save on the hose and to not have to bleed your brake system again, what you do, take a piece of wire and take your caliper, get your piece of wire, push it in through like that, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna tie it just like so. We're gonna do this. That way, as you can see, it's not going anywhere. And at the same time, it's out of your way since we're working here and not some way out in here. So let's get back to work. Now what we're gonna have to do is take off this vest cover so we can get to the ABS sensor. So we can get it as well out of the way and don't damage it. It's an 8mm. It might be a little bit more convenient if you got one of those fancy extensions. Just to get this out of your way, just go ahead and keep on going. Now we got to find something to fit this. More than likely an Allen wrench. Perfect. You got to be careful with these things because they're delicate. You might break them. So you want to be gentle, you know, especially something this old. Like this car is 3 years older than me, so you want to go kind of gentle before you break something. Oh, dang it. Next step is to take this nut holding the CV axle onto the hub. That's what we're going to do next. Nope, too small. That was refreshing, I'll tell you right now. Oh, I forgot, we're filming a video. It's cool to have a dad that works on cars as well. He's been doing it for longer than you've been alive. My 24 wouldn't fit on this. .32mm. Yeah, that's one thing I don't have is a collection of bigger sockets that I need to get. So let's go ahead and zing this off right now. and get back to business. Oh. It's out. Okay, so what we're gonna have to do now is take out the wheel bearing itself, bearing and hub assembly. This bolt down here, this bolt, and there's a third one down here that you're gonna have to get to. So I'm gonna do those right now. Okay, so while I was taking the wheel bearing off, I had a little bit of a difficulty. Because you see the bolts are back here right at the CV axle, right? And the CV axles usually, hold on a second, let me show you guys. They're usually just pushed in here. They're pushed in here like, you know, all the way, right? And they're like that. There's no space for you to put a ratchet or a wrench on the bolt to get it loose. So a quick tip would be push this in as such, and as you can see, you got a little bit more wiggle room right here. And let me show you guys, there's plenty of room to get a wrench in there now. You can't do a ratchet, but a ratcheting wrench would do just fine. And as you can see, it's out. All right, here's the old wheel bearing. Oh yeah, that's totally safe to drive on, is it? I mean, that's where all the humming was coming from. This thing is junk. Yeah, beat the dirt. Well, here's the new wheel bearing and hub assembly we're going to be putting in. It's for a 97 Explorer as well, from 95 to 2001, I believe. But this will work, this will do the trick, and it shouldn't be humming anymore. And if you compare it to the old one, it should be the same. We'll compare them just a moment. They should be the same. Let's put it on. Pretty much straightforward. You just put it in and put the bolts back in where they belong and make sure the sensor's pointing in the right direction. And tighten it up. That should be good. There we go. Ah, man. Smooth. Can't wait to drive this thing. And since this one came with the sensor, you gotta unbolt this right here, take all these fasteners out because it came with them as well, and I unplugged it from there pretty much, and just basically plug and play. See what I'm saying? And yeah. Well, the new wheel bearing is in, and as you're going to get to know me later on, we didn't just buy one part. We're going to do the other side too, but we're not going to do that on camera. So let me run through a little bit of last things right away. To take out the old clips on these, you're going to have to get something under them, just pry them up. you won't be able to do that with your fingers, so I had to go ahead and get one of these. You just put it underneath like that. Just kind of go like that. Prime out. And you just do them all the way around. And when you're done, I mean, when you want to put the new ones in, they go in as easy as just pressing them in like that. Just because we didn't do that on camera, I'm showing you how to do it now. There's a bolt back in here. That's an 8mm. You undo that one. Let me see if I can show it to you guys. I don't know if y'all can see it. It's somewhere here. Somewhere back here. This is an 8mm bolt. You undo it. It takes this thing out. It comes out with the whole thing, and obviously you undo this or whatever if you want to take it out. And to replace it, you just screw that back in, screw the bolt back here, back in, and clip these in and plug them in the plug right up here. Just to kind of run down a little bit. And you tighten these bolts from the back as well before putting in the CV axle nut. Not after, because if you do it before, you'll have the space. Afterwards, you won't have the space, so make sure you keep that in mind. And as you can see, feel a little bit of resistance. Just like a brand new wheel bearing. Heck, it is a brand new wheel bearing. Detroit Axle, you're the GOAT. You're the GOAT, Detroit Axle. They're not sponsoring me, they're not paying me nothing, but they've just been great for us for affordable prices. Thank you, Detroit Axle. Alright, so I've done a few things off camera, and what I've been doing so far is just putting the dust cover back on. There's 3 8mm bolts that just screw in place. Nice and easy. That won't go nowhere. Next, I'm going to take the rotor, slide it on, nice and easy. And remember, our caliper, it's hanging with the wire I talked about, so we'll be out of the way. Now what you do is you just undo what you just did. Twisted it on itself, and now we'll get out of here. Just put it back on. And as you remember, there was only one bolt holding this thing, which is why I was hearing the weird noise other than the humming as he meshed the brakes. So we got not 1, not 2, but 3 bolts just in case if we lost one. So let's do that right now. Let's go ahead and put these on. In the last video, we showed you how to put them on, so I'm just going to go and fast forward through this one. Perfect. And last but not least, we're going to put the wheel back on. So we changed the wheel bearing on this side. We're going to do the other side off camera because you don't have to sit through that whole process. I don't know if you noticed, but there's no sway bar and link, technically. I ordered the parts on eBay, but they didn't come in yet, so that's why we didn't change them. We were supposed to change these and the wheel bearings in the same video, but that didn't work out because, well, you know, shipping times have been affected, I would assume. But we did this side for the wheel bearing, we're going to do the other side for camera, and yeah. Well, the last thing we're going to do on this video particularly is we're going to check the rear differential fluid. I already did this off camera. You basically take off the drain bolt and you stick your finger in there and take it out. And if you don't get any fluid on it, which basically means you need to put some more fluid in. In this case, I'm just going to do the right thing and just change it. I'm not going to do that right now. Since we did a rear end on my GMC, I'm not going to cover this one in detail. However, I'm going to point out some differences. Just like the GMC, you're going to have to take out all the bolts that hold the diff cover on to drain the fluid. And as I told y'all in the past, or I think I did, before you take out the fluid, you need to take out the fill plug to make sure you could put fluid back in it. And the fill plug, unlike the GMC, it's going to be on the left, right here. I can stick my finger in there. There's your fill plug right here. And it takes a 3/8 extension. I used a breaker bar in this case. Just stick it in there and twist on it. Should come right off. Take it out. I already did this step, so that's why you're just seeing me demonstrating it. And there's your fill plug. Now we can put fluid back in it if we need to, so we're safe to take out the differential bolts, the what do you call them, the diff cover bolts. So that's what we're going to do next. I'm not going to put it on camera because I've done this in the past. You could go check that video out. I'll link it in the description if you want me to see me do that. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that, and I'm going to show you all the result. Ooh. Not quite as bad as the GMC, but does it have metal shaving? Nope. It doesn't have any metal shavings. I'd say we unscrew the top bolt and actually take this off if we can and see the gears under there. We should gasket this. Okay. Well, here's the differential on the inside. So far so good. I don't see any signs of major wear. No metal shavings in the fluid like me and my dad said. My dad was holding the camera earlier. Thanks to him. Thanks to him for reminding me to check back here anyways. Whatever's in there. That's a C-clip. Say prostate exam for cars. Check at least what we can see from the pinion gear. It seems to look okay as far as I know. Can't see any signs of major wear. And keep in mind, this is not like a rear end replacement video, but 279,000 miles later, and this fluid's probably never been changed, so it's probably 1997 fluid. And to see things like this, I'm actually quite impressed in all honesty. They should have changed it more, but it's okay because it's still intact and we caught it just in time because my dad saw me when I was draining it and he said it was probably 2 quarts low. So, good thing we caught it early. Well, I guess I'm gonna call it quits for today. We changed both wheel bearings, we changed the rear differential fluid, and since we're at it, I went ahead and got an oil filter. That's how it's drove. Anyways, we're gonna go ahead and change on the old engine oil since it seems like it hasn't been changed in 17 months. You never know. But I don't know what we're gonna do later. Probably another video will be up in another 17 and a half years, but until then, we're going to get this thing finished, and the next time you'll see it, it'll have a little bit more work done to it, obviously, and it'll be basically kind of an overview of a bunch of things we did to the car and things like that. And once we sell it, if we ever do, I'll tell y'all how much I paid for it, how much I invested into it, how much we got for the car, and we're going to calculate how much we made on it. Stay tuned for that if it ever happens. In the meantime, bye guys. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn your notifications on, leave a comment, and if you want to follow me on Instagram, I'll be more active. I'll have a link in the description. See you guys later.